Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. What was his stat line? Steelers Joey Porter Jr. revels in locking down Drake London. Pittsburgh Steelers second-year CB Joey Porter Jr. played coy when asked about their plans in coverage. The former second-round pick spent the second half of his rookie season covering opponents' top receivers, but would not say the Steelers plan to do that again this season. Well, as he admitted following Sunday's win over the Atlanta Falcons, Porter did that against Wr Drake London. And he was pretty pleased with the outcome, as you might imagine. London, the former top 10 pick, finished the game with just 2 catches for 15 yards on 3 targets. The Steelers and Porter held him to without a reception in the second half. His first reception came against Damontae Kazee after the Falcons motioned a bunch Darnell Mooney out wide, leaving London in the slot. Asked by Dale Lally jokingly if London played at all, he said, "You tell me." Lally writes for the Steelers website that Porter smiled when told the receiver's numbers when he asked, what was his stat line. The 32nd pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, Joey Porter Jr. was not an overnight sensation. He began his rookie season as the Steelers' dime defender, eventually graduating to nickel. Toward the second half of the year, he finally ascended to full-time starter. Not long after, he began asking for and receiving shadow coverage assignments, with success. The Steelers' acquisition of Donte Jackson via trade is the reason many wondered if their strategy might change. When they only had Joe Hayden at cornerback, he consistently shadowed top receivers. After they added Steven Nelson, however, they played sides. It's plausible that with Porter and Jackson they could have played sides, and I'm sure they do and will, but they clearly scouted London with Porter in mind. That was the whole plan, Lally quotes him as saying. "We've got the same body types. That was the main thing." London, the third-year receiver, is 6'4", 213 pounds, whereas Porter is 6'2", 193 pounds. In comparison, Donte Jackson is only 5'10", 180 pounds. When asked before the game about the discrepancy, Porter vouched for Jackson's ability to defend bigger receivers. He noted that Jackson covered Mike Evans his whole career playing in the NFC South. The Steelers hope Joey Porter Jr. is the next true star of this defense, having already shown such potential during his rookie season last year. They clearly believe he is capable of being a lockdown corner, already trusting him with crucial assignments last year. But that doesn't necessarily mean the Steelers will have Porter shadow somebody every week. As he noted, the Falcons' top receiver, Drake London, has a certain body type that fits his game. If the Steelers were to play the Rams, would he shadow Cooper Kupp? I would guess not. Jackson had a fine Steelers debut himself, after all, showing why they acquired him. TJ Watt makes strong declaration about Steelers fans after Week 1 win. Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker TJ Watt was an omnipresent problem for the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. Watt made life hard for Kirk Cousins and the Falcons' offense with a dominant effort that helped the Steelers eke out an 18-10 victory on the road for a 1-0 start to Pittsburgh's 2024 campaign. The Steelers' defensive star gave Pittsburgh fans credit for showing up to the game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium and being so loud that the Falcons had to resort to a silent count. "Steelers Nation is incredible, man," Watt said, per Blitzburg. "It's extremely demoralizing for an offense to be on a silent count at their home field. Silent count is incredible. Honestly, a lot of those plays go to them. The fumble that I was able to land on was because they had to be on a silent count at their own place. Any time that happens when you have a lot of shifts and motions, snaps can go anywhere, balls on the ground, you get to recover them. So Steelers Nation was absolutely incredible, but I'm not surprised." The 29-year-old Watt had 4 total tackles against the Falcons. He added a sack and 3 quarterback hits. He caused Atlanta to commit 2 fumbles and recovered one of them. It was an incredible overall effort from Watt and the Steelers' stop unit that did more than enough to spoil Cousins' debut with Atlanta. Pittsburgh held the Falcons to only 226 total yards, while forcing Atlanta to turn the ball over 3 times. The Steelers will be on the road again in Week 2 for a showdown against the Denver Broncos in Mile High City, where Watt will hope many Pittsburgh fans to cheer for his team again. In any case, the Steelers will be making their season home debut in Week 3 versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson was limited in practice on Thursday, reporting tightness in the calf he injured during training camp earlier this year. The Steelers will kick off their 2024 NFL regular season with a Week 1 matchup against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday afternoon. And according to ESPN NFL insider Dan Graziano, it's entirely possible that Wilson will miss the season opener. If Wilson is unable to go, Justin Fields will get the nod as the Steelers' Week 1 starting quarterback. Listen, if Russell doesn't play, this is the best opportunity Justin Fields is ever going to have in his career, ESPN's Dan Orlovsky said on Get Up. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin addressed Wilson's injury after practice on Thursday. Wilson was scheduled to speak with media, but delayed his availability to Friday after aggravating the injury. His calf got tight, so we wanted to exercise some precaution, Tomlin said. We'll see what tomorrow looks like and kind of go from there. With or without Wilson, the Steelers will kick off against the Falcons at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback suffers potential concussion. Pittsburgh Steelers reserve cornerback Darius Rush suffered a potential concussion against the Atlanta Falcons, head coach Mike Tomlin said. There is no certainty that he suffered one, but Tomlin did say that he was being evaluated for the injury after the game. On the final punt of the game, the Steelers sent out wide receivers Ben Skowronek and Scotty Miller with Rush out. That figures to be the lineup if he cannot play against the Denver Broncos. The Steelers would need to elevate somebody off the practice squad to replace him as an outside cornerback. The likely candidate would be Thomas Graham, who can play in the slot and outside. Rush was not the only injured player the Steelers had in this game. Punter Cam Johnston suffered a serious knee injury, Tomlin said. Meanwhile, cornerbacks Dante Jackson and Joey Porter Jr. both suffered injuries but ended up returning to the game. It seems those are minor. The Steelers still will hope to get wide receiver Roman Wilson, ankle, quarterback Russell Wilson, calf, and left guard Isaac Seumalo, pec, back from injuries next week against the Denver Broncos. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Cameron Johnston? Leave your opinion in the comments.